What's going on, guys? Your boy Fluff here. As promised, we're going to bring you a guide today on the build we've been playing a lot in stream. People are asking, what is this? It's a lot like Man-Rasha, but not quite. So without further ado, let's get into it. So in 2.4.3, Blizzard added this ring called Man-Rasha, and it really opens up a lot of different build options for Wizard, which is amazing. It's always cool to see when one item in particular can really it can change virtually every build for a particular class, which this definitely does. You can throw this in any set and it can really make a difference, which is awesome. So we like to call this build Man-Rasha. And why Man-Rasha? Not because we're a male chauvinist, but because it uses Man-Rasha and Txiii 6, and we'll get into that. So the build. It's really not that different from Man-Rasha, which I just posted a few days ago, which you can see here. The big difference here with this particular build, while we still think Man-Rasha is going to be better for clearing normal rifts, still the fastest, and especially as you get higher Paragon, that dot is really going to just absolutely annihilate trash, and the rift clears are going to be so insanely fast. This particular build is going to be really good for kind of speed rifting between 60 to 75 in that range. Man-Rasha can speed really fast from 50 to like 65, but it kind of teeters off after that range, whereas this can really do 60 to 75, which is really nice for gemming up. That GR69 is kind of one of the sweet spots for speed rifting by yourself, and this does really well at that. So the big differences here is you'll see that we're not running Firebirds. We are running pure Man-Rasha. And so instead of the Man-Rasha or the Firebirds being in the shoulders and the boot slot, we have Nilfer's Boost, which, I mean, this doesn't make a huge difference on your damage, but there's not a lot of better things to run in the feet besides maybe illusory boots. This gives you a little bit extra damage juice, so why not? What this does is increases the damage of your meteor by 200%. When it hits 3 or fewer targets, the damage is increased by 350%, up to 350%. And this is 347 and Ancient, so this is pretty good. But you see, I'm not running Meteor, obviously. As part of Man-Rasha, once every 8 seconds, you get a Meteor from the sky. So that's where the damage comes from. And then the shoulders, again, not a lot of great things you can run here. We're running Pauldrons of the Skeleton King because it has a 25% chance to avoid death, which this build can be kind of squishy, which is why this is really handy. The stat priority is going to be pretty much the same as Man-Rasha. We want high CDR. The more CDR you have, the better. The bare minimum, I believe, is going to be around 42%. But the more you get, the better you're going to be when the in-game juice drops, just as we explained in Man-Rasha. So we'll go over the gear really quick. Man-Rasha's Grasp, we want int, cooldown reduction, crit damage, crit chance. Shoulders, we're running as Pauldrons of the Skeleton King here. Explosive blast damage, cooldown reduction, int, invite. Man-Rasha's Helmet, same thing here, int, bite, crit chance. And chest, this is a little different. If we're running Man-Rasha, we don't need attack speed whatsoever because we don't care how fast that the primary skill is attacking, or any of the skills for that matter, because explosive blast doesn't really change off of attack speed. So on Man-Rasha, we would want int, bite, drop that attack speed roll, and do explosive blast, and then maybe like life or reduce damage against elites. Whereas this, it's a little easier to gear for because Man-Rasha always rolls with attack speed, and attack speed in this case, because we are casting our primary and we do most of our damage off the proc rate of the primary skill, attack speed is a really good thing to keep on the chest. But then other than that, explosive blast damage is very good. Belt, we still haven't rerolled anything on this, it's fine. Int, bite, preferably armor and like a physical on the secondary with life percentage. That would be the dream. Pants, int, bite, armor here would be better with the physical on the secondary, but these are fine. This is like, you know, speed rifting. It's not too serious. We're not trying to push. Nilfer's Boast, again, int, bite, armor would be better with like movement speed and like a physical on the secondary, but these are really good. Nemesis Bracers, gotta have Nemesis Bracers. We need that to proc elites off of the pylons inside rifts because we need to keep that in-game up at all times if possible. So here we want fire, int, bite, crit chance. And then, of course, in the jewelry slots, we want Man-Rasha's Allegiance in the neck, which Preferably, you would want fire, crit damage, crit chance, but this is just fine with intelligence instead of fire damage. And then we want focus and restraint. The dream, again, would be to have the dream rolls, which is crit damage, crit chance, and cooldown reduction, but these will do just fine. Intelligence, crit chance, crit damage. Again, guys, I think you only, at a minimum, need 42% cooldown for this build, but again, the more you get, the better. So the dream roll in both rings would be great. Wand of Woe, you want obviously base damage roll, 10% damage, intelligence, and cooldown reduction with the highest explosive blast damage roll you can get. And then you want Orb of Infinite Depth in the offhand. Preferably, you'd want something with intelligence, crit chance, cooldown reduction, and explosive blast damage. But this is just fine. Again, guys, we're not trying to push with this build, so it can be pretty lenient on what you roll. Skills are actually going to be really, really similar to what you saw in Man-Rasha, with just a couple changes. Instead of teleport with Calamity to proc the arcane piece of our Txiii, we are going to Safe Passage for the toughness. And to proc our arcane, we're actually going with Black Hole Event Horizon, and we're going to talk about this skill in a minute. It's amazing. We actually didn't know this even existed or what it actually did, but it's so good. And I'll show you guys why, and it's really fun. Man-Rasha, the primary skill, has to be lightning, and it doesn't really matter what rune you choose, but in this particular build, it really does. We found that Shock Pulse Living Lightning has the highest chance to proc Man-Alt Heal. Explosive Blast Chain Reaction, just like Man-Rasha. Frost Nova, Frozen Mist, Diamond Skin with Prism. We need Prism on this because it reduces the arcane power cost of all your skills by 9. So while Ingyam is active, your Explosive Blast is going to be like going off like mad, and you need to be able to keep your arcane power up, and that's what this skill does. Passives are pretty much the same. We want Evocation, obviously 20% cooldown is a must. Audacity, deal damage, extra damage to enemies within 15 yards. Multiplicative, it's amazing. The difference here is we absolutely have to have Paralysis. This is part of the Man-Alt Heal ring, which we'll go over in a second. And then Unstable Anomaly, we do kind of need a DI, because like I said, guys, this can be pretty squishy. So this is pretty necessary. So the cube, let's get my fat head out of the way real quick. So, Ingyam, just like Man-Rasha, we need that. Got to keep it up at all times if possible. Another thing you'll see here in the jewelry slot, what this whole build revolves around, and what a lot of these wizard builds revolve around, is something called Man-Alt Heal. Enemies stunned with paralysis take 14,000% weapon damage as lightning, which is this paralysis skill. So you got to have that on your passive to get the bonus from Man-Alt Heal. And man, this is huge. And then last but not least, Shame of Delcir. Why is Shame of Delcir? So you'll see if I take it off real quick, and then we cast one of our primary skills. It's pretty fast, and this still has a really good proc rate. It's not that it would be bad, but once we put the Shame of Delcir back on, wow, that's really, really fast. And so why do we want this skill going faster? The faster we can cast this, and the more of these little guys we have out, procking lightning, hitting everything with lightning, it's going to proc the Man-Alt Heal, which is amazing. So the more of those guys we have out, the more Man-Alt Heal procs we're going to get, and everything just blows up, and it's amazing. Then let's talk about Black Hole with Event Horizon real quick. We didn't know about this, probably because we don't really group a lot, and support wizards kind of revolve around this skill. But what Black Hole Event Horizon does, it says conjure a black hole at target location that draws enemies in, deals 700% weapon damage as arcane over 2 seconds to all enemies within 15 yards. That's great. So I cast it here, everything gets sucked in, which is really a nice skill in and of itself, because you like the mobs to be dense together so you can kill them faster. That's amazing. But the secondary effect here, it says Black Hole also absorbs any projectiles and objects from an elite monster it fixes within 15 yards. What does that mean? So this build is kind of squishy, but the fact that you can basically delete enemy affixes from the game just by casting this skill is absolutely amazing. So say you kill an elite and they have the molten explosion, you just literally cast a skill, it absorbs it, takes it out of the game, and you're fine. Or they cast poison, the poison things are coming at you on the ground. You cast it, deletes it from the game, gone. You're totally safe. You're not gonna take damage from it. It's so good, guys. It's also really fun to do, especially when you're in a group with other people and they're like, "Oh no, I have to get out of the molten explosion." You're like, "No, I got you, guys." The legendary gems are actually gonna be a little different too. We're gonna have Bane of the Powerful, Bane of the Trapped, and then we're actually running Esoteric Alteration because you actually do need the toughness tier from the gem. This build will also kind of give the illusion that you're tanking because you're able to spam Black Hole Event Horizon when Ingyan proc is up, which deletes anything from the game that's going to try to kill you. But you'll notice between Ingyan procs, you're actually quite squishy because we did drop Aquila from the cube. Just because we're not really able to keep full arcane power by spamming Black Hole Event Horizon. And plus the Shema Delseer that we're actually running gives us that really fast proc rate like we were talking about earlier. So right out of the gate, when you enter a rift, you want to do the numlock trick just like we explained in the last video, and you can see that guide again here. But basically you want to keep 2-3-5 up, which is, you know, Explosive Blast, Frost Nova with Frozen Mist, and Diamond Skin. And these don't actually have to hit anything to proc the Man-Rasha. So when you first enter a rift, it's really important because toughness can be an issue here. If you want to hit with your primary skill, you'll see here, boom, that puts it up to 3, and then you cast Black Hole, boom, you have the 8 seconds of Man-Rasha toughness, and then you can go in and start killing stuff as fast as you possibly can. But that's pretty much all there is to it, guys. We'll leave a 65 clear at the end of the video. It's really fast. I think it's like 4 minutes. First try, there was no like special selection of video. We don't do that. We like to show you guys it's really consistent, really fast all the time, regardless of circumstance. But we also hope you guys enjoy this build as much as we do. We love it. Black Hole with Event Horizons, really fun skill to use. And when you can just spam it and delete all the bad stuff from the game, it's amazing. And of course, as always, guys, like, subscribe, come over to Twitch, ask your questions, hang out. Peace out. Activate the numlock trick. I don't normally play with sound because Explosive Blast sound is pretty crazy. Blue pack right out of the gate, it's always what we want. Boom, we got the juice. Wooden doors. Go ahead and delete whatever they're trying to do. And blow up. Love that Event Horizon skill. Still deleting their stuff. Just gotta find more elites. Here we go. Well, never right. We never picked the right way. Uh-oh, I got feared there. So we're only gonna have one time. Ghosts can be pretty hazardous to this build, but not too bad. You can see why I usually mute the sound, which is just a quick control S like that. But I thought for the sake of the video, I'd leave it on. We are out of juice. A lot of ranged mobs here. This really can struggle with a lot of trash, just because it is pretty fragile. But look at that, we can just delete it. Like, I don't really want to get blown up by those. Just delete them from the game with Event Horizon. It's amazing. Not sure where this guy came from, but we like it. Elites. Can't click. Really there's an elite over here, right? Or pylon, that works too. Shielding. This way? No, this way, right? No. Bugs are kind of annoying. It's always annoying fighting the elite packs that like spread out. So you can't get the juice until after all the little ads are dead. Alright, we got the juice. Make sure we delete whatever they're trying to do with Spell Steal. Or not Spell Steal, but Event Horizon. We don't get in trouble. Is that a blue pack? Just like one guy? I think his buddies are over here. Got a lot of health. Fresh juice. Let's keep going. Oh yeah, this map. Not only is like Event Horizon great for deleting bad things from the game that you don't want to stand in, like Molten for example, this is great. But it can also like speed up your progress, because like say Molten, you have to get those purple orbs. You can just like delete them because you have Ingyam up, which means like no cooldown on your black hole. So you can just like delete it from the game instead of waiting around like you have to do sometimes. That gets dangerous. See, we just deleted his poison from the game, which is awesome. Spin pylon, sure. You got juice for the Guardian, it's good. You can't delete stuff from Rift Guardians, which kind of sucks, but yeah, dude, it's so fast, really fun, amazing.